Hi everyone! I love coffee. In fact, I cannot start the day without having a coffee. But today I'm going to share with you a special type of coffee na bagay to those who are into keto diet. And this is what you call the bulletproof coffee. Coffee. This is a coffee which is high in fat, but at the same time low in carbs or low in sugar. So bagay na bagay siya if you're on a diet, but at the same time, other than it gives you yung energy boost that you're looking for or na hinahanap mo sa isang coffee, yung taste niya is good, enough for you to feel na busog. So kahit na, so in my case, pag uminom ako ng bulletproof coffee in the morning, and I've decided na to skip lunch dahil busy or talagang ayaw ko lang, kaya ko siya, hindi ako nagki-crave. There are different ways of preparing yung bulletproof coffee. So I'm gonna show you yung how to make the bulletproof coffee using yung espresso machine. But again, sabi ko nga, pwede namang instant coffee or pwede rin yung katulad ng ganito na coffee press, which is another good way of brewing coffee. Or pwede rin yung typical yung coffee maker nyo, pwede rin yun. I just like na my coffee na strong, kaya I like using espresso machine. But again, pwede rin yung instant coffee. So now I'm gonna run down what are the ingredients sa paggawa ng bulletproof coffee. So these are the ingredients for bulletproof coffee. So of course, yung coffee, any preferred coffee mo. So for today, I'm gonna use my dark roast coffee. Bigyan ng kapatid ko. You may also use sweetener, but this is optional kung gusto mong matamis yung coffee mo. So I have here yung sweet monk or the stevia or the equal gold. You may use any of them. And typically I like my coffee na sweet. So I usually use yung 2 teaspoon or 2 packs ng any of the sweetener. And of course, you also need to use yung 2 tablespoon ng butter. You just need 2 of them. Okay? As I mentioned, bulletproof coffee is a high-fat coffee. So you will also need to use yung CMT oil. Nabibili to sa Watson or sa Mercury. But this is one of the most important ingredients in bulletproof coffee to make it high fat but at the same time good fat coffee. You have to remember that MCT oil is the best source of good fat or good oil when you are on a keto diet kasi nako-convert siya agad into keto. Now in other barista, they use virgin coconut oil, pero yung experience ko, medyo may taste siya medyo may cocoa taste siya, unlike yung CMT oil na wala siya talagang taste, pati yung texture niya. So again, just your coffee, pwedeng instant coffee, and then yung sweetener, kung gusto nyong matamis yung coffee nyo, 2 tablespoon butter, and of course, MCT oil. These are the basic ingredients of a bulletproof coffee. So what are we going to use to prepare the bulletproof coffee? So again, sabi ko nga, there are different methods of preparing coffee. So if you want your coffee na medyo strong, so you may use yung coffee machine like this. Or pwede rin naman yung French press. Or you may also use yung instant coffee. Again, it depends on your preference when it comes to coffee. I like my coffee a bit strong, so I prefer using my espresso machine. But for some people who are not fond of or are not very particular with coffee, pwede naman instant coffee lang. The most important tool na kailangan mo in preparing the bulletproof coffee, more than the coffee machine, kasi pwede nga gumamit ka lang ng instant coffee, is of course your blender. Kasi dito mo imimix lahat ng ingredients mo. If you don't have a blender, yes, you may still drink your coffee, but remember, since high fat siya, so medyo naghihiwalay yung butter and oil on top sa dun sa mixture nung coffee. There's another option. You may use yung stirrer like this. You can purchase this sa mga Japan store or any other alternative stirrer. But if you're on a travel, yung ganitong type of stirrer is very important kasi you can prepare your own bulletproof coffee while waiting to be on board. For when I use espresso machine, I like my coffee na medyo super fine kasi para mas makuha mo lalo yung flavor. But if you're using yung French press, dapat medyo coarse siya kasi para hindi siya lumabas dun sa screen niya. So some of you might be skeptical ano yung lasa ng bulletproof coffee kasi iniisip nyo agad, ano ba lasa ng coffee with butter, especially with oil, na if you prepare it well using the right coffee, yung preferred coffee nyo, na make it a bit strong para mas masarap, then use a blender to mix it, then you will have a perfect bulletproof coffee. So next step na, so it has the butter, stevia, and also the MCT oil. Then lalagay mo na yung coffee mo and then you just blend it. Ito actually the best part of preparing a coffee using espresso machine kasi ito kitang-kita mo yung crema na hindi mo magagawa o makikita when you prepare your coffee by other means. Okay? So, lagay mo agad siya habang hindi pa lumalamig. Then just blend it for 10 seconds. Okay, there you go, your bulletproof coffee. So that's what the blender gives. It gives you yung frothy part ng coffee. So similar siya to a cafe latte. So this is the best part of using a blender when preparing yung bulletproof coffee. It gives you some froth on top of it na hindi mo magagawa if you're not using yung blender. And now let's try it. Sarap. So, it tastes just like cafe latte. So if you like coffee na medyo milky, this is it. Yun naman. Frothy siya. Okay? So, para lang talaga siyang cafe latte. This is it. This is your bulletproof coffee. So, simple lang siya, but much cheaper if you prepare it on your own than buying it sa coffee shops. And you can choose pa the method of preparing the coffee and the type of coffee that you're gonna use. Now I'm gonna demonstrate to you naman yung bulletproof coffee using yung French press. If you're using a coffee press, na French coffee press, iba yung coarseness nung beans mo. So hindi siya, kanina naka-fine siya. So ito medyo coarse kasi nga meron siyang screen na mag-filter ng coffee. If your coffee is too fine, then lulusot siya doon. O ayan, pwede na siya. So this is how you make yung coffee press. So just lift yung cup niya with the yung lid niya with the filter, and then just put the coffee. Again, I like my coffee na medyo strong, so I'm gonna use about 2 spoonful ng coarse grind coffee. And then you will put na the hot water. Okay, of course, you will have to use yung hot water. So, boil yung water that you're gonna use. But then, wag mo siya immediately ilagay. Kasi you don't want the boiling water to burn the coffee. Dapat lower than 100 degrees Celsius yung temperature ng coffee mo. So, siguro hintay ka lang ng mga few seconds before you pour it dun sa coffee press mo. Okay, another rule in using a French press, wag mo basta ibubuhos yung hot water. Lagyan mo lang muna siya ng konting-konti hanggang maluto lang yung coffee mo. Just be patient. And then up to the desired portion. There. So, leave some space for the cup, yung cover niya. Okay, and then cover it and let it steep for 4 minutes. So, yun yung rule when you prepare yung French press, yung coffee mo using French press. So, 4 minutes. And then, saka mo siya ibabaon. Since dinemonstrate namin yung a different way of preparing yung bulletproof coffee using yung French press, I might as well demonstrate also how to use it na yung ganitong manual stirrer lang. Para you can prepare one while on travel. So, while we are waiting for the coffee, i-prepare na natin agad yung cup mo. Or siguro, mas, let's use this, yung travel cup. So, again, you have to put na the ingredients and then you just pour in the coffee. Ang suggestion ko, since you're not using a blender, dapat softened na yung butter that you're gonna use. And since pinalamig mo na rin ng about 4 minutes yung coffee mo, baka the coffee that you're gonna pour here is not enough to melt the butter. So, siguro 1 tablespoon butter lang ang gamitin mo. And then, you put sweetener if you want. And again, yung MCT oil. So, tinatamad na ako kumuha ng kutsara. So, pwedeng ito na lang. Okay? So, alright, so 4 minutes is up. So we're now ready to press yung coffee natin. So just press it gently. Okay. So and then just pour it dun sa coffee natin. Okay. So, yun ang problem with French press prepared coffee. Wala siyang krema. Yung nakikita nyo on top, yan yung butter and the oil. Ito yung sinasabi ko na if you're not gonna use a blender or a stirrer, medyo ganyan yung itsura ng coffee mo. Okay naman yung lasa niyan. Hindi naman yucky. Pero, so, let's see. But careful lang sa talset. Medyo napadami yata yung lagay ko ng coffee. So, medyo challenge to. And since nagsisettle up yung mga oil and butter sa taas, so doon mo medyo ilagay yung dulo ng stirrer. Kasi yun naman talaga yung kailangan na mix. So, kanina, when I demonstrated using bulletproof coffee sa blender, it only took us 10 seconds, diba? Ito medyo matagal. Kasi nga, yun, hindi naman talaga naturally nag-mix yung water and oil. So, yun yung challenge. So, ayan, it looks better than earlier, but not as frothy as when you make or prepare it using the blender. So, pwede mo pang i-stir further if you want to, kung may tiyaga ka. Pero, siguro pwede na rin ganito. So, at least, you have a bulletproof coffee na hindi yucky yung texture. It's still coffee and buttery yung taste. Pero yun nga, wala siyang frothy froth on top as opposed to yung blender. So here's my bulletproof coffee using yung coffee press, French press and manual stirrer. The taste is still good as the other one, pero yung texture is not as smooth as the one kung prepare mo yung using the blender. Pero this is still good enough if you are craving for bulletproof coffee, pero walang available. Alright, so that's it. If you learned anything about this session, please like and leave some comments below, and click subscribe and click the bell notification button para you'll be reminded of my future.